So your argument is that under Mr. Peard's policies, Waukee does not have a competitive tax rate, business climate, set of amenities compared with cities like West Des Moines and Clive and Urbandale. Is that your contention?
And not even just those cities. We also talking about other startup cities as well, or I don't call them startup, but other growing cities as well. We're not in, we're not just in competition with West Des Moines and competition with Clive and in competition with Urbandale. We're also in competition with communities like Johnston and communities like Ankeny, communities like Grimes and Norwalk. And if you look, those are the types of communities that are starting to get it. And they're starting to really prepare and do things that I frankly believe that we still are not.
Mr. Peard?
Well, it's like playing a game of Frogger, because I mean he makes points here and they go down here and they pop up here and they go, but there's no answers. It's just all identifying problems. I mean, and I think that is kind of a history of my challenger, is that he has concerns and he knows that there's something wrong, but when you ask him what's your solution, there's never a solution. Because I want to know, if we want to develop like Ankeny, Johnston, a couple of those other cities that you name, how are we going to do that? Lower taxes, pay for the infrastructure it's going to take to do the economic development, so we have a steady and stable commercial tax base to help us with our residential rates. Because I'm confused as to how you do all that, because I don't have a magic wand. All I have is a record of hard work, working with a council that in the majority think that we are doing well and going in the right direction. And I think our citizens do as well, because I'm not going to highlight some issues. I'll listen to people, because I've always listened to people. I don't need to be taught or tutored on what it's like, because I attend hundreds of events as mayor, hundreds of events a year. I talk to the citizens. I have good communication with them. I listen to what they're saying. And what I'm hearing them saying is, Waukee's a pretty special place. Yeah, do we have growing pains? Absolutely, we have growing pains. And we will continue as we develop to have growing pains. But I'll tell you what's going to make us an Ankeny. It's going to be that interchange out there. And that's not some golden thing. That has been an identified project, one of the major identified projects, is what's going to take Waukee so we can get some of those amenities you talk about, the recreational facilities. Because guess what? If you lower taxes, are we going to plow our streets every other snowstorm? Are we going to put out every other fire? Are we going to eliminate our recreational program? I mean, what's going to give when you lower the taxes in a fast-growing city? Because we're growing like this, we have demands of infrastructure, but yet you want to turn that back. How are we going to build that infrastructure so we can be an Ankeny? I'll tell you how we're going to do it. We're going to maintain a constant tax rate, and we're going to build that interchange, and that's going to help us with some of the problems that you've identified that Waukee is going to experiencing. But these aren't wrong directions. These are growing pains for a fast-growing city, and I tell you what, people vote with their feet. I don't see anybody with gates out here on our border keeping residents from moving in and houses from being built. I don't see it.
Mr. McGee, how do you respond?
Well, it's a well-known, it's a common identifier that what makes a community grow is its schools. And so it's very clear that what's made the residential development happen in this area has been the fact that the community school district out here has our city name on it, the Waukee Community School District. Now, I've talked to different people and asked them, so what made you move to Waukee? And that's exactly what they said. Look, I wanted a place where I can have my kids grow and feel safe and go to a quality school. And even the people who don't have young families have said, look, where there's good schools, there's good communities. So we know that the schools are the ones that have brought people here to town. What I'll point out, though, is when we talk about solutions to problems, again, from my entire 4 years on the council, I listed them earlier, I've led the entire process. I've led through every different initiative. I've been one of the first ones out on certain ideas. Alice's Road, for instance, is a community-wide project. It's a project that you're going to see consensus on. I don't think there's not any person on the council who is going to say Alice's Road is a bad idea. Matter of fact, when you look at the reason why I'm running, it's precisely because of Alice's Road that I think we need to start going in a new direction. And let me point out the reason why I say that. Alice's Road will probably be the biggest impact, will probably be the biggest focal point for our city in the next, for a long period of time. And if we don't have a process or plan in place that deals with economic development, and I'm going to point out a couple of notes here in a second on that, a plan that deals with economic development, not a map, which is what a comprehensive plan is a map. And the people who put together our comprehensive plan told us, and it's in our summary, that we need to have a clear brand for what this community is. Because growth is not a brand. Growth is not an identifier. Growth is a symptom. And at some point, growth will stop. And so as we look at Alice's Road, if we don't have a plan for what we're going to deal with that, there's a few things that we're going to face. The same thing that we see right now on Hickman and on University, which is businesses will decide, how close can I get to Waukee without always having to make the big jump? And what people have to realize is, although we're developing our part of Alice's Road, in just a few years, we still don't have the entrance ramps and the exit ramps off that bridge. In a few years, after West Des Moines decides to finish up its priorities over in the Jordan Creek area, after they decide to finish their priorities over in the Microsoft area, their next step is develop their side of that road, 105th Street. And when they start developing their road, you tell me, if you're a business, what side of the road are you going to locate on? Are you going to locate on the side of the road that has a clear identity and it has lower taxes? Or are you going to locate on the other side? And so unless we do something now about those things, I'm concerned that we're going to have the same situation that we have now on Hickman and on University.